Over the years, the Small Business Bureau has introduced more programs to promote entrepreneurship and develop the capacity of small businesses. This week's In-Depth will focus on some of the services offered by the Bureau and some of the beneficiaries of those programs. To date, the Small Business Bureau has been fulfilling its mandate through programs such as the Small Business Loans, in-school entrepreneurship grants, and micro-cosmetology courses, among others.
Roundabouts. Approaching a roundabout. When you approach a roundabout, you must use your indicator if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn at the roundabout. You must give other road users sufficient notice of your intent to turn. Entering a roundabout. When entering a roundabout, you must slow or stop to give way to any vehicle already in the roundabout. You must also continue to use your indicators if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn. Turning left. When turning left, you must indicate left on approach and be travelling in the left-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Stay in the left lane and exit in the left lane. Turning right. When turning right, you must indicate right on approach and be travelling in the right-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Making a U-turn. When using a roundabout to make a U-turn, you must approach in the right lane and signal right. Changing lanes in a roundabout. Drivers may change lanes in a roundabout if they wish. The usual road rules for changing lanes apply. You must use your indicator and give way to any vehicle in the lane you are entering. Going straight ahead. You don't need to signal when approaching the roundabout if you are going straight ahead. You may approach the roundabout from either the left or right lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Exiting a roundabout. As when you exit a road, you must signal left when leaving a roundabout, if it is practical to do so, and you should stop indicating as soon as you have exited the roundabout. However, when you are travelling straight ahead on a small single-lane roundabout, it may be impractical to indicate when exiting.
Linden couple Haslin and Audrey Graham are lauding the Small Business Bureau for coming to their rescue when an act of nature put their business on the brink of collapse in 2017. The Grahams own the Linden Wireless Communication Network, also known as 104.3 Power FM. They suffered a major setback when a power surge caused by lightning damaged their equipment.
At the time, the project was a steep hill in order to climb. We really wanted to make sure that we can be able to get the necessary all equipment. But because of our own financial constraints, we decided to start seeking intervention or seeking avenues in order to acquire a loan. We found that the Small Business Bureau, after exploring other avenues, we were grateful when we learned about the Business Bureau and the opportunity of the government helping to finance or put some of the collateral based on the amount of money that you really want to borrow. And we were more or less much grateful for that because we were able to get some additional equipment that we really wanted in order to expand and continue to push on the project. So we had to basically start back over from scratch. And that is where the idea came about of borrowing some money in order to make sure that we get back on our feet in order to keep the system going. Because we discovered that when it went down, it was like a major black hole in the community because of the support that the radio station really get from the listenership. A lot of people enjoy based on the fact that we cater a lot for the general audience of the community. So we are much thankful for that opportunity.
Audrey Graham said getting the loan was not difficult.
We applied for the loan in March of late March of 2017, and by mid-April we got our loan from the bank. It was very easy, and with the Small Business Bureau, it helps you to manage your business in a better way. It helps you to put proper system in place because there is where we were able to have our account established at Republic Bank, a better accounting system at the Republic Bank and put certain records in place because there were things that were required of us before we could have applied for the loan. So the Small Business Bureau really helped you in putting things in place to make your business better. Accountability is better right now, and things are striking better. We're currently applying for another loan, and because of the relationship at the bank and the paying system that we have, that is easy.
While noting their business has its challenges, the CEO said the company has been making strides to become better.
We have grown a lot, and we still have, there's a lot of room that we found for improvement, and we're still working in order to make sure that we can be able to cover those grounds to really make this station what we would like it to be. So that is why we're trying to see if we can be able to get another loan. We're trying as much as possible to make sure that we cover all of our geographical area that is allotted to the station. So far we're not covering that amount, and we really want to make sure that that happens. The areas is the immediate of Region 10 in Linden area itself, but we also want to meet the Kokwani and other riverine areas, Rockstone and those areas that are really part of our community.
According to Haslin, the community's support has been overwhelming, especially with the rebuilding process of the radio station.
There's a lot of benefits, and we were able to prove that, especially when the system went down. The amount of calls and the energy that people, I mean, at one time we felt like, personally I feel like just giving it up. But after being encouraged by the community itself about the trying to see if they can be able to assist in whatever they can in order to make sure that we go back on air. That was more or less some really good encouragement. There are some experiences that you have in terms of that you really and truly cannot forget. And it really kind of makes sure that we had these kind of soft spots because people are the genuine concern that people had at that time. There are some soft spots we have based on some of the programs that we have and some of the people that we bring on air. When they finish talking with you, they really give you that kind of encouragement. Even a small business in that case, because of the fact that we were open enough to explain to them what we're really trying to accomplish. What is it that we really want to do? Even them decide that, yes, that is a very good idea. And those are the kind of stuff that we really enjoy, those benefits from small business. They not only just give you a loan and just forget about you. They also come back and check you to make sure that you're okay. They call you. If there's opportunities where there are seminars and different courses that they even get you involved, they would send a mail and say, this is a schedule of what is coming up, you know, so you can be able to attend, you can be able to be a part of those seminars. And it really, those seminars are a lot of benefits that I found the entire community don't get the benefit of it because that is the things that they don't understand. It's now, even down to the chamber up here, they're trying to get people on board in order so that they can be able to get those same benefits that we are actually enjoying.
The Linden Wireless Communication Network provides employment opportunities for several youths in the region. There are plans in place to expand the business.
We are willing to work with everybody. We are willing to support because we found that there's a lot that is missing, and in terms of information. And this is one of the strongest media in order to do that. We support it. We put programs in place in order to do that because we recognize that this is a very important role that we need to play. And we understand our role. That is why we give up our own personal interests in order to make sure that we can be able to keep this alive and make sure that the community can benefit a lot from it.
Audrey Graham explained the station also gives back to the community.
2 hours every day for the relevant authorities in Linden. Police, the town council, the regional chairman, the regional offices, water. We give back. These are 2 hours that allotted. You just call to book a day that you would suit you. And we give that back where you can enlighten people in the community of what is going on, what is new, what is happening.
Another enterprising couple that benefited from a small business loan are the Youngs. Melissa and Dwayne Young recently launched their 3R detergent refill center, located at the Harris's Paint Building in 3rd Avenue Diamond on the east bank of Demerara. 5 years ago, the young started their detergent refill idea in the kitchen and laundry room with just a bucket and a paddle to experiment with their line of detergent.
It's the first of its kind. We've just set up a detergent refill center as a response to actually look at the impact plastic bottles have been having in our community. And we've actually set up a space for residents to recycle reuse their bottles to refill liquid detergents that are being manufactured locally.
One of the things that we pride ourselves in is the quality of the product. We have worked tremendously on providing a quality product that is still affordable. We have 8 products. We're introducing 8 of our products. Those are the dishwashing liquid hand soaps. We have disinfectants and multi-purpose cleaners. We have the fabric softener and laundry detergent, and the car wash line where we have the degreasers and the detergent for washing the cars.
The refilling will cost a fraction of what you'll pay in the supermarket. You can take, for instance, your standard 500 ml bottle that you fill with your detergent, with maybe your hand soap that may cost you about $300–400. You'll be able to fill that here for about $100 to $200 now. A fraction, because why? You're removing the most expensive component in anything you see on the shelf, which is really the bottle and the label. You're removing that, and you're asking people to be environmentally conscious and bring your bottles back, any bottle you have, and fill it here. We're setting this up as a franchise. All you're seeing here is the capacity actually for other small businesses and any entrepreneur who would like to actually have a center like this set up in their community. The aim of this is to have this as a community-focused project. So any community can set up a refill center. Young entrepreneurs can come and say, hey, I have a space, and we'd like to set up our center in our community. We will manufacture and supply you detergent. We'll come in and help you set one of these centers up, whatever space. Someone call us and say they have a mobile bus they want to convert into a refill center. The aim at the end of the day, we're on a mission to ensure that not one plastic bottle finds its way in a dump site again.
At the business's launch in March, Small Business Bureau CEO Dr. Lowell Porter encouraged all to support the local line of detergents.
We have to support businesses like these. We have to take our monies and invest it back into our communities. If you don't support the smaller ones, they would always remain small, right? And you will always be buying overseas. And your economy, your country, will be always lagging.
The Tidy Up Detergent Refill Center promotes the recycling, reduction and the reuse of resources. Today, the company employs 5 persons but plans to expand their business and employ more. According to a SBB report, a total of 50 loans valued at $270 million were approved to finance small businesses across the country in 2017.
As part of efforts to promote entrepreneurship among young people, the Small Business Bureau piloted the In-School Entrepreneurship Fund. In October 2017, 15 secondary school students in grades 10 and 11 were selected to participate.
October of 2016, I visited St. Ignatius Secondary. There I met with some teachers just for a general discussion, but we ended up talking about the Small Business Bureau and some of the programs we offer. Out of that came a discussion for us to meet with students just to share some information regarding entrepreneurship, business development, career plans, and things like that related to business. Following a discussion with the office after that visit, we decided to not only implement this program to include the discussions for students, but we wanted to amp it up a bit, give some more opportunities to students, because one of the things we were looking at that time was the high unemployment rate for youth in Guyana. Out of that, we got a total of, I think, just over 100 students in the program. From that, the students selected their business projects. We wanted to work in tandem with the SBAs, and particularly subject areas that required some kind of capital investment and also that were directly related to business ideas. So we selected the business students, home economics, agricultural science, and for a few schools they asked for building technology students.
The in-school entrepreneurship fund provides a $30,000 investment for the students to convert their school-based assessments into actual business ventures, which they operate and manage for a school term. During a visit by the agency in Region 9, the students of Ishalton and St. Ignatius Secondary shared their experiences. Ishalton student Cecil Winter said the business was a challenge she welcomed. The home economics student opened a food outlet called Sue's Quick Bites.
To able to management is one of the main things that I learned from this business, and when I began to sell, I was like ashamed at first to be like, "Hi, selling pizza," and it was like embarrassing to me. But I learned that whenever you want to do a business, it's about selling, and you're not supposed to be shy, and that's the one thing I would take away too. So it's managing my business and balancing my school and not being shy. Yeah.
Also from Ishalton Secondary is Clint Richards. He opted to sell vehicle lubricants in his community and saw his investment profits doubled.
The reason why I chose this area is because back in home in my village that there are many motorcycles that go to the bush mines so that when they come during the race season time, especially that when they dock their motorbikes or their engine, the oil normally turn white and they need to change it. So that's why I chose that area, because I see it to be beneficial for me, and the business will go fast. I mean, it will be a good investment.
Amanda Nugafuk operated a printery, while Vianney Henry's business venture was the sale of school uniforms and stationery. They shared what the experience has been like for them.
I lost, yes, but at least I tried and I learned to cope with my work. At the same time, it was good.
Business teacher and supervisor at the Ishalton School, Del Joseph, says he was impressed with the students' managerial skills.
The students, they were actually good managers because they managed their schoolwork with their business time. And so there was no conflict whatsoever with that. And I need you to, right? That showed everyone that these students they're good managers and aspiring entrepreneurs in the future.
Over at the St. Ignatius Secondary School, Amisha Ramdin, an agriculture science student, says the fund was a financial boost.
My project was basically agro-processing, where I dealt with fruits from my community and I preserved them, making jams, jellies, etc. The 30,000 grant was really helpful because, well, money don't drop from the sky. And it really helped in buying stuff. It was a great head start.
Many students took the initiative and advertised in their communities. Their parents were also instrumental in the management of the business. Janice Torres, mother of Amisha Ramdin, says she was initially skeptical about the program, but decided to give the pilot project a try.
It was an experience. I've never done a business, so it was all a learning process for me, and I'm always supportive of my daughter's education and all of her endeavors, so we work together. Getting a grant is very helpful when you want to educate your child. It's very helpful.
Some children's parents cannot afford to pay CXC in our communities here. Even here, there are so many dropouts because of that, I think. And if this can go on, it would help some students maybe to stay and to help pay their CXC fees, as Sarah, the HM, was saying. So it can help a lot if they put more. Like I said, she's on this scholarship, and I said maybe it should have been given to some other child who was not fortunate, so it can help them. So maybe next time they can give children who are not on this scholarship, so it will help them, and maybe it will push them maybe to do their work, because I see a lot of dropouts in this school from here because of income.
The pilot project wrapped up on March 20, and 99 students from 13 schools completed the program. However, the program was not without its challenges. This was outlined by information technology teacher Adina Ben.
I think that there needs to be somebody continuously managing this project, right? I think that's one of the things that need to be in place. Because you see, as Ms. Archwood has said earlier, they are children. And they need somebody now and again to just hold their hands and say, you know, it's okay, like on a daily basis, to check on them and make sure, give them the guidance every day. In that way, that was my role, but there were times when it wasn't that easy because I had other things to do, especially this term. Right? I had a lot of other things to do. So I think the students really needed that. They needed somebody to turn to on a regular basis and check on them every day. Time management was a challenge for them a lot. And so we had to be saying to them, remember, you have to find that balance and try not to make it about this or about that, you know, and so forth. I think that is necessary.
Headley said the challenges will be taken into account for the next phase of the program.
One of the things we did not look at any sort of support for the teachers who would be playing an extra role by facilitating this program. And so that's something we also realized we had to look at. For some of the schools, they chose programs that they did not have facilities to deal with, and that's something we were able to also look at. And going forward, I know we'll have some other challenges coming out, but we've learned so much from the pilot that we're able to be dynamic, be flexible, so that we could meet the needs of the students, the teachers, and the communities, while we try to ensure that through Small Business Bureau, we were able to promote entrepreneurship in the communities.
On May 31, during a media sit-down, Small Business Bureau's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Lowell Porter, said that following the success of the in-school entrepreneurship pilot program, another 150 students will gain access to funding in June.
The grants are not going to increase. We would like to do that, but we think at this time that $30,000 has been working very well, so we will not increase that. What we have increased is the number of schools.
The CEO pledged the SBB's continued support for school-level entrepreneurs.
We will always do this as long as we are funded, because we believe that there is benefit. If you think about the opportunities, if you can start from school, and then at the end of the school, you can decide, well, you know what, I am a good business person. We had great stories coming out of Bartek, out of Ishalton, Port Morant, right? Things that we never expected, they're there, they're out there. And we would like to fund that creativity and continue doing so.
With more efforts to provide smaller businesses with incentives, in February of 2018, the Small Business Bureau expanded its services with a 3-month microcosmetology course facilitated by American cosmetologist consultant Rob Willis. The sessions were described as life-changing by the beneficiaries.
It's very educational, and what makes this program different is that it's not just about theory and practical. We actually get into the chemistry behind cosmetology.
It has opened my mind so that the work that I now do at the salon, it could be executed much more effectively so that customers would be pleased. We were taught about standards, and we are advocates, I should say, of standards within the cosmetology organization.
I have like 28 years experience as a cosmetologist, but what I'm learning here, what I've learned here in the almost 3 months that we're here, I've never learned it before. So it's like a lot of fresh things are going on, a lot of like you're excited, it's a bubbling over, you want to come every day.
It was good. It's a good gesture that SBB did this.
Rob Willis highlighted stemming out of these sessions was the birth of a local cosmetology organization.
The whole purpose is to give some mandates, some law, some legality, some structure to professionalism for cosmetologists. When you can go to the market and see people performing services in the market, and then there's a salon across the street or a salon around the corner, and they're price gouging and things like that, there has to be something to bring balance to it that makes it worthwhile. And the association will be that body, that group in Guyana that'll keep that balance.
Additionally, with efforts to promote standards locally, Willis redrafted the 1997 Local Cosmetology Code of Standard set by the GNBS.
I put together a structure called the Bureau of Licensing and Regulations for Guyana, which in turn will make room for new job opportunities. There'll be an inspector, a person to go to salons and inspect for sanitation and sterilization, inspect for current licensing, things of that nature. That way, the safety and welfare of the good people of Guyana will be protected and there will be less liability.
The Small Business Bureau is a semi-autonomous government agency which operates under the Ministry of Business. The Bureau raises the visibility of small businesses by making finances more accessible and creating programs that will encourage small businesses to grow and develop.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.